The UFC just came out with the new coaches for The Ultimate Fighter Season 31. It is Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler. I wanted to see what your thoughts were on who else could they have gone with for Conor McGregor, and do you think they chose the right person in Michael Chandler, or do you think they should have gone with someone else?
So Michael Chandler is fine. I think he's very exciting. I feel like he hasn't been on tough yet, so I feel like he's okay. Connor, I mean, they only put him on there because he's a big draw. He's a big
Yeah.
name. He'll forever be a big name. I think they could have gone with someone else like Gamrot, um, even though he just lost, or Armin Sukit. I don't even know his last name. Well, I think those two are better fights in my opinion. I don't know. I just don't like that matchup in my opinion.
Yeah. Like McGregor Chandler or McGregor and the other guys?
McGregor and Chandler.
hmm I don't know. It's tough because like they could have gone with I think just they had a lot of options. So they could have gone with Justin Gaethje, they could have gone with Charles Oliveira, but I think I don't know. With this one, it's
Well,
tough.
Oliveira already fought Chandler, so I don't think they would have did that.
Yeah. I think it's tough because with Conor McGregor, you never really know. He has the one punch knockout, but he doesn't have the gas tank. And I'm sure they're probably gonna put him as a main event. So it's tough with Connor, but I think Chandler in a way is a good fit just because Chandler has might have like a similar gas tank, and it's an exciting fight. Like Chandler's an exciting fighter. I don't think you want to go Justin Gaethje because it's a possibility of wrestling, and then I think you definitely don't want to go Oliveira because you can get submitted. So I don't know. I think they took the safe route going with Chandler, but they did have a ton of options. I don't know what weight they're gonna do this at. If they're gonna do it at 170 or
I'm thinking 155. I think Connor really wants to try and get back at Habib by beating Islam.
yeah, yeah.
And I think
I don't think 170 is the move for him. There's no way he's beating. Those guys are way too big for him.
I was just talking about this earlier that I really think that Connor's done. Like I don't see him touching another belt. Like he'll never make 45, but if he did, I don't see him beating Volk. 155, I don't see him beating Islam. And definitely at 170 if Usman wins that belt back, which I think he's going to, I don't think he has a chance with Usman. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's just for the views at this point because Connor's such a big draw that of course they would put him on the Ultimate Fighter. But I think in my opinion, Beneil should have been on there for
Oh
sure.
yeah,
He is still on his win streak. He beat his last one was against Gamrot.
Gamrot. Yeah, yeah. I know. It's like
Yeah.
we just everyone just forgets that Benil Dariush is even there, and that like he honestly should have got a title shot, but of course the Volkanovski going for a double champ is probably more gonna drag more attention.
Yeah, of course. I think I think Gamrot. I mean, Beneil would have been my top pick. Now looking at it, I
hmm
think Beneil because whoever I'm pretty sure whoever wins that fight is gonna get the title fight.
hmm
So
Unless
unless
Islam
Islam
loses. Yep.
loses, but yeah, I think Beneil would have been my number one. Gamrot would have been my number two. Um, yeah, I just don't think Connor, especially his first fight back, I think he should have fought someone else
hmm Yeah. I
because this
mean,
is a real dangerous fight with Chandler with his knockout power plus his wrestling prowess, even though he
yeah.
doesn't really use it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the only good thing with going with Chandler is that you know that they have a very similar gas tank. They both gas out. So, at least that's safe. You're not going to deal with someone who has some really good gas tank and Conor gets tired and gets taken down and submitted again. It's just gonna be the same thing all over again. But I mean, yeah, I like the fight. I do wish they would have done like kind of what boxing does, like give Conor like just like a little tune-up fight. He doesn't have to fight a nobody, but he could fight someone like
To be
down the
honest,
rankings.
I was thinking like Dan Hooker or something like that would be
Yeah,
a banger. That would be a crazy fight.
yeah, because Dan is
Um,
willing to stand and bang too,
yeah,
and he would
he
definitely take
doesn't go
that
to the
fight.
ground. So, and he bangs with the best of them. So I
Hmm.
think that would have been a really good tune-up fight for
That
him.
would be really good. Yeah, and he does get hurt on the feet too. So yeah, I definitely think that would have been a
And he's a big name. Like
yeah. He
everyone
puts
comes to
on
see Dan Hooker fight. He's
yeah he puts
very
on good
entertaining to
fights.
watch.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, that does make sense. That actually would have been a good one. But then I don't think they would have probably made it the Ultimate Fighter because of Dan probably doesn't have like a he probably isn't good on the mic like Chandler is. But
Yeah,
I think Dan Hooker would have been a great comeback fight actually now. Or
I think so
someone
too.
similar, someone more down the totem pole. You're jumping straight up, and now if Connor loses, where is he gonna go if he loses? Like he's basically done. Like I don't. He would only
Well,
be fighting for money if he loses.
I'm looking at the rankings right now. I feel like the only other fighter I would think that see, because I'm thinking in the ways of the UFC of how they would make money,
Mm,
and really, it's a tune-up fight is really the least riskiest fight that Conor could take to where he would propel himself into a bigger fight like a Chandler fight that he would most likely not lose.
mhm,
Um, the only other guy that I could see him fighting as a tune-up fight would be Drew Dober, but he's really low in the rankings, or Jalen Turner. He's on a crazy win streak
mhm.
right now.
Jalen Turner
But
would have been
he's
a good one. Yeah.
but the only thing is that's really dangerous because he's really tall for the weight class and he uses his length really well.
Mhm.
So I don't know if they would have risked putting Connor up against him with that length at the division.
Yeah, and I think he's fairly like unknown, so I don't think they would have put him up against Jalen Turner. Drew Dober maybe, but that's still a risky fight because Connor fades and Drew Dober gets better over the fight. So
Yeah.
that is a risky one too, especially in that rank. If he loses to someone lower ranked like that, he's basically done. So, but I mean, I think if he loses this next one in general, it's gonna be tough, man. Like, where does he go? I mean, a lot of I've seen some people saying they should give Tony Ferguson the McGregor fight, but he's on a what 4 fight losing streak. So like,
Yeah, he's pretty much done.
yeah,
I feel like there's one other name that I wanted to throw out there, but he's on a 2-fight losing streak and he just lost to Drew Dober, which is Bobby Green. He has a big
that
name.
would have been a good one actually.
People love to fight him. Um, that's a pretty safe fight for the UFC and for Conor. He's a boxer
Hmm.
um, who doesn't really he moves his head real well, but when you mix it up and put combinations together, which Conor could do, I feel like it would be a good fight for him, at least for a tune-up.
Yeah, that would have been a good one. Yeah, I think they definitely should have gave him another fight before, but at least we'll get a fun fight with him and Chandler, and it'll be good TV on the Ultimate Fighter. So I
Oh
think they'll do
yes,
good money wise.
they're gonna be really good together
Hmm.
on the Ultimate
And
Fighter.
if he wins, then I think they shoot him for a title shot if he beats Chandler, honestly, because I don't think they're gonna want to risk him losing and then missing out on
Yeah,
that big
and of
payday.
course that story, especially if Islam wins against Volk, that
Hmm.
storyline
Oh
of the
yeah.
whole Habib situation and now he fights his pretty much brother, his closest friend. That's a
Hmm.
huge storyline,
Yep. And
and I feel like that's something that they don't want to miss out on.
oh yeah, and I think he calls him out. I think if they give him the Islam fight, he says if he beats Islam, then Khabib has to come back. So,
Oh
and
yeah,
who knows? He might come back to do it again, man. That would be
uh,
a lot of money. It'll be too
That
much
would be a
money for
lot
him
of
to turn
money.
down. So,
I don't think Khabib would come back, but I would love to see. I would love to see if he does
mhm.
because that's like, yeah, that would be crazy.